When I was a little boy, I played with all of my toys. I had my favorite puppy dog, like other girls and boys. Then I had my bow and arrow, I'd take it to the woods. Mama smiled and waved at me.
It wasn't very long after it got daylight, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and we had two younger looking deer come in, and about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, we had a couple shooter does come in, big mature does. In particular, there's only one thing I really don't like about this stand, and that is, well, you have to stand up to pull your bow back and get a shot. So I slowly stood up, analyzed, picked out which deer I wanted, and as soon as I drew back, you won't believe what happened. At first, when I pulled back, I said, oh, great. How am I going to adjust to that? But sure enough, one stopped and gave me the perfect shot. Yeah, let's go ahead and take another look at that. Now let's slow it down.
On the hit initially, I knew it was a really good shot, and there was good blood all over the place. I double lunged her and hit the heart. It looks a little low and back, but I assure you the blood trail was pretty good. All right, folks, well, we're in town right now. We're going to head out this afternoon and hopefully get on something that was a good doe we shot earlier this morning. Wish us luck.
Take 2 of your powder pellets. Generally, you can use 3 or 2. We use 2 because we're not hunting that far usually, and then the 50 caliber projectile with the wad. So you go ahead and drop your powder first. Then you want to take your starter and push your round in first. Get it started. Take it out. Take it off. Set it aside. And take your ramrod, put it on your projectile, push until it stops, and like we have a ring marked where it should stop, meaning this projectile is all the way down. Put your primer here, and your muzzleloader is ready to fire.
Right off the bat, we're seeing a lot of does, and I mean a lot of does. So I said, you know what? If no shooters come out and it starts getting a little late, let's go ahead and let that muzzleloader do some work.
I know this is a zoomed out image, but I just wanted to show y'all what this muzzleloader does when it fires. Yeah, a big old cloud of smoke. We couldn't see anything. So we got down and started looking for some blood, and we were reassured it was a great hit. As we walked around and followed the blood trail, we were like, wow, how is there not any blood? This is a 50 caliber muzzleloader, and we thought we hit her pretty good judging from blood on the very first hit. And she made it about 40 to 50 yards, which really surprised us, but sure enough, we got her.
As we walked upon the deer, we kind of looked at each other and said, oh boy, that was pretty exciting and that was really fun and all, but we knew one thing for sure. Now the work begins. All right, folks, well, we're making it back to the truck now. That deer probably ran, I don't know, probably just 40 yards is all. It's just, it was 40 yards of the thickest brush ever. So we're just now getting to the truck. I'm gonna load her up and now the real work starts. Alright folks, so y'all do know she did run a little ways, and we just want to show you what happened inside, and that just, some deer just aren't gonna die. Come check us out. So this would be lung number 1, and this little chunk that's left would be lung number 2. This is the heart that's still fully intact. So yeah, her lungs were destroyed, and the only thing left was her heart. Crazy. The next day, my buddy and I went out to my ranch in Dehennis, and well, this is a different guy. His name's Caleb, and we also put the smack down on those deer too. All right, boys, we're walking in to the creek bed right about now, and we're making our way to the stand. Hopefully, we get on something tonight. I'm not sure what all's gonna show up, but whatever comes in, we're freaking blasting it, son. Folks, we made it to the stand. It should be a pretty good night. That afternoon, we had, a yearling doe come out or two, and, well, we just really didn't see what we were after, a big mature doe to get some meat out of. Well, the next day, we went to my coach's place. This is, part 2. We're going to my coach's farm fields, do a little bit of doe management. Y'all remember Caleb, of course. We're going to get on something tonight.
We had just gotten out of school. We ran over to Caleb's house, grabbed his gun and everything we needed for the night. And it was a relatively short drive over to the coach's place. And, well, when we got there, we knew one thing. It's time to put something down.
Let's go, baby. We just got out of the buggy. We're going to walk to the stand. We're about 150 yards out, and well, we're getting in at about 4:45. Feeder goes off at 5:30, so we're sitting pretty well right now. So we're getting up to the blind now. The feeder's right there. Should be a pretty good hunt. Yeah. Due to the lack of rain, this should be a big old oat field, but we haven't had any rain down here in South Texas. It seemed to be, I don't know, maybe about an hour until we saw the first deer, and boy, were we excited to see one, because we were starting to get the feeling that it was a little too warm to see one. But sure enough, one came out, and then, well, we discovered that it was a young spike, and we decided to let him walk. But sure enough, right after that, about 30 minutes later, a big doe came out, which we were looking forward to get some meat. Right there? Yeah. Ready? Yep. 3, 2. All day, baby. All day. She's hit.
Just as she hit the tree line, she piled up right there in the brush line. It was a good hit. Went through both lungs and some of the liver.
All right, folks, now that we're back to the buggy, we know one thing now. The work begins. I'll tell y'all one thing, boys. When it comes to hunting, this is what it's about. Right there. That's what we're after. Horns, trophy, don't make a difference. In reality, that's what we're here for.